What the is up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Beers End. Today, we're going to be talking about
Beers and
life's a beach. Bitches.
He's been wanting to say bitches.
We're back. Let's go, baby. Nicholas, hello, sir.
Alexander, how are you?
Welcome in, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Beers End.
We are right in the smack dab middle of the summer.
Yes, right where we started.
Just about.
Right where we started. All those months ago.
All those months ago, about 12 months ago, we got together and we had a little conversation and couldn't decide what to do our additional little niche topic about. We're like beers and
everything.
And I think actually I picked up bagels that day.
And it kind of works.
Yeah.
Yep.
It kind of works.
And today, you're joining us for episode 67. It's about beaches.
It's about beaches.
Because it's nice to just be on a beach and relax.
Preach, brother.
I was just doing a lot of that. That's why you guys haven't seen us. Well, that's kind of the reason.
Yeah, I would say so.
We took a little bit of a sabbatical.
Yeah.
A little recharge.
As all professionals do.
Yeah, a little battery recharge. You know, I was actually away.
You were on your honeymoon.
I was out of the country on my honeymoon. It was quite lovely to be somewhere else other than here.
And of course, spending it
with my lovely wife.
With your lovely wife.
Yep, we had a wonderful time. We had lots of really cool experiences together.
How was the volcano? By the way, speaking of professionalism, and not to cut you off because that's professional as well. If you're listening to us right now, make sure you subscribe to us. If you want to watch us, head on over to YouTube at Beers End Podcast. Subscribe on all the socials.
Yeah.
On Instagram at Beers End Podcast, TikTok at Beers End Podcast, and over on Twitter at Beers End 1. And if you got questions, comments, concerns, shut your damn mouth.
Keep it to yourself.
beersandpodcast@gmail.com.
So we were away. We were in lovely St. Lucia.
St. Lucia.
Yep. And the volcano was really cool. They wouldn't let us go up the trail, though you could visibly see smoke and noxious fumes coming out of the rocks.
Is it because it was that active?
I think either that or we just didn't pay for that part of the trip, but it's not active. It's been dormant.
Oh, okay.
But there is the whole place smells like sulfur.
The entire world is pretty much on fire right about now too. So
that's mostly true with monkeypox and all the other.
I meant quite literally. You've got Western Europe is all on fire.
Oh, I did not know.
Oh, like Spain, Portugal, France, Italy. Oh yeah, they've got major forest fires.
Is it from the heat?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing it now in blistery old New Jersey.
Good old New Jersey.
Yeah. So that was really cool. If I could bathe in volcanic mud water every day, I would. And
who amongst us hasn't said that at least once or twice?
No, but actually, it was
that good.
Oh yeah,
it's got to be good for the skin. Very
good. It's mineral water, so you dip in,
and
then you cover yourself in mud after your pores are open.
Oh,
and then more mud, and then you can paint yourself. Make it fun.
Yeah,
whatever images, and then you go back in, you wash it off.
I love that. And it makes everything nice and taut and tight and whatnot.
It's very enriching. I said to someone on the trip, I was like, if I could do this every day, I totally would. And he said, oh, you want to go back to your country crawling 10 years younger?
Wow.
It's oh,
yes.
It's like that. Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're super cool. That was, if you can do that at any time, do that.
I'm going to have to.
Go to a volcano.
Listen, don't got to tell me twice.
Didn't get to take home any lava though.
I don't think they would let that on the plane.
Yeah, I haven't found anything that's able to actually house it yet. So when I do, I'll let you know.
Deal. Done. We'll be the first to know.
This is a beer podcast.
It is. Last I checked, it's been a few weeks, but
you ready to hear what we're having today, Nick?
Yeah, I'm very much ready.
Okay, we're gonna go with another Drekker beer.
Okay.
Because slang du jour was
very nice.
Very nice.
Very, very nice.
So this is Brains. But Oregon Braaaaaaaains.
Oregon Braaaaaaaains?
So it's a collaboration with the Oregon Fruit Company.
Oh.
So it's Oregon grown fruit.
Oh, the OFC, of course.
Yep, for sure. So this is a collaboration with Oregon Fruit Company.
Yeah.
Oregon grown fruit and berries. So on Untapped, completely stuffed with Marionberry, boysenberry, blackberry, blueberry, cherry, and plum.
Ooh.
And then Drekker came in and hit it with their double secret triple smoothie treatment
Ooh.
of sea salt, lactose, and vanilla beans.
I am tickled pink about this one.
This is an exciting one. I think we should just get right into it.
I think we should. I'm very curious about this because I believe we spoke on the phone and you had ran down the list of some of the ingredients and you had said the first one was
Marionberry.
Marionberry.
Yes.
And I had said to you, I go, are you joking? Is that a real fruit? And you said, you're like, yeah, why? For our listeners and our viewers who are not familiar, Marionberry is also the name of the mayor from Washington, D.C., who... So random. Who was caught in an FBI sting smoking crack with sex workers in the early 90s, was convicted, sentenced, did time, released, ran for mayor again, and won.
The good old justice system.
So there you go. I hope this tastes like justice. I love that color.
Right?
Ooh.
Yeah. Rich berry, dark berry color.
It's like a good mauve.
Oh, ooh, very nice, very nice.
Right?
Yeah, I'm trying not to smell it. I want to do the smell reaction at the same time.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to.
Oh, okay. Because sometimes it'll fill the air immediately.
Yeah, I'm trying not to breathe out of my nose. It's going pretty well.
Okay. It looks like it's got a very nice consistency to it. Doesn't look too thick, which I appreciate. You've also poured these masterfully.
How do you like that?
You had a lovely, relaxing
Very
vacation.
relaxed.
My goodness.
Very relaxed.
Not a tremor in sight.
Not a dry eye in the house.
Thank you.
Okay, what do we got?
So let's see.
Man, it just smells like
A lot of the plum. You can smell
like a mixed berry smoothie.
You can smell a little bit of that milk sugar in there. I think the vanilla milk sugar
definitely
smells very nice.
Definitely.
I'm still curious. Again, I want to know what a Marionberry tastes like to begin with to know whether or not I'm picking it up or not.
So I've had it before, but
Oh,
I've
you have?
I've never actually had an actual Marionberry. I've only ever had something Marionberry flavored.
Which I can't do this the entire time. I just keep thinking of his face.
So I'm gonna look it up
Smoking crack.
because I actually have never had one. Oh, so it's a type of blackberry.
Oh, okay. So it's going to be a little tart.
Yes,
All right.
but what's the difference between blackberries and Marionberries? Oh, not all blackberries are Marionberries, but all Marionberries are a type of blackberry. There you go.
Oh god, that's some like math shit. Like not all rectangles are squares, but all squares are rectangles or
Parallelograms,
something like that. Something
rhombuses,
ridiculous.
Yeah, this smells like a rich plum, cherry, berry situation.
I'm curious because when you ran through the profile and then you poured it, the color to me didn't immediately say like, oh, this is a good July summer beer. But now at the same time,
Okay.
I'm kind of thinking about it, a very kind of almost dog days end of summer. You know, it's going to be a little heavier. I think it's going to be a little heavier.
Okay, that's not the direction I thought you were going.
No?
I thought you were going to go like, like a berry pie. Like a fruit pie.
No,
like
you
a
see,
tart,
I was thinking like,
a summer tart.
oh no, you see, I was thinking like reminds me of it's just is a hot day. You're gonna move real.
Hot day down in
You're
New
gonna
Orleans.
move real slow, like
Well, we don't want to move too slow.
so as to not go ahead and break a sweat by any means.
Hey, you know what I say about being sweaty? It's better to be rainy.
Cheers. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to connect everything in my head. Didn't work out.
Ooh, that's delicious.
Ooh, wow.
Ooh, that is tasty. It's almost like like if you gave this to me and said, "Tell me what's in here," I probably wouldn't be able to tell you.
I don't think so either, because usually plum, I think, has such a distinct flavor, but it doesn't come through. And not that I'm missing it. It's a really nice blend.
This is another one of those things that, like, how it comes together is different than what you would think it should or would taste like. And I think I prefer that because when it comes together and does something unique like this,
Yeah.
I think it's a better offering than just like being able to select
Yeah,
different
when it's
elements of it.
when you're gonna mix, have a good mix like this all together. Yeah, I tend to agree. You know what it even reminds me of a little bit? I'm still running on this food. Well, picking it up, I guess, from you with this food thing. like macerated blackberries on like vanilla ice cream.
Ooh.
You know, when you get to the bottom, you got that like soup that's kind of left
yeah.
over. That's what this is.
I think you're right.
What is the ABV? If
It's
I may
almost
ask?
7. I think it's
Oh, okay.
6.9.
All right, it's pretty.
6.9.
It's hefty. It'll pack a little punch.
So we didn't say it, but it's a sour, a smoothie pastry sour.
And it's not particularly. It's not super sour. It's not artificially
No,
sour.
definitely not.
It's very much relying on the fruit itself. I think blackberry is more of a tart sour, maybe Marion as well.
Yeah, you know, now I'm curious. Now you got me curious. I would love to know what a ripe Marion berry tastes like.
I'm really impressed by this.
This is darn good.
I've got to say.
3 for 3 now on Drekker beers.
And I think I like this one a little bit more.
Ooh, then the peach,
Yeah.
the pineapple upside down cake. Really?
Yeah,
Ooh, wow.
I've got to say this is up there because I'm not a big plum fan. I won't go out of my way to have a piece of plum or a plum fruit
Oh,
itself.
seeing I would.
Oh no, I'm not a big plum guy. Yeah, I'm impressed.
This darn good.
Damn good.
Yeah.
What are we thinking?
4.45.
Ooh, I like that.
This is a good one.
This is very good. I'm gonna, yeah. I feel like I would rest right around there. 4.3, 4.4. It is very, very nice.
It's just very pleasant.
I would have at least another one. I would
This is
undoubtedly.
not one of those that's too sweet
Right.
that you can't have more than one.
Well, this is, I think, the difference at times when you're using, and I know a number of breweries and probably, a number of products always say that they use, 100% fruit or, no additional flavors or whatnot. To me, this is an example where there definitely is no additional additive. It is nothing but the sweetness from the fruit.
For sure.
And I appreciate that.
You know what? Now we're on our second
Excuse me.
Drekker sour. And I would
Yes.
say I can get the sea salt.
Yeah, I think it comes through
I'm
nicely,
getting it.
and it matches because that with the vanilla and with some of that milk sugar. Yeah, very well done.
Yeah.
Hats off to you, Drekker. Hats
Solid.
off to you.
Solid offering.
Well done. Well done.
I would love another one.
I would too. Do we have any more?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be inappropriate. We shouldn't do that, should we? We'll see.
I mean, it's our show.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Remember that, you.
Yeah. Remember that. So, Nick, you know what? We didn't do question of the day.
Oh, we didn't.
We did not. That's okay. Do you know what the best day of the week to go to the beach is?
A Tuesday.
No, it's Sunday.
Oh, for
Silly.
Oh, damn it. Damn it, Alex.
We took a little bit of a break.
Look, you're so coy and you're
now
so
we're
relaxed
back
as you're
with the jokes.
and you delivered it with that. And here we are.
But actual question of the day. What's your favorite beach activity?
My
Favorite thing to do with the beach?
Ooh, I'm a lounger. I love to sit. That is where I read.
Chill and read?
I go to the beach and I read. That's why, to be honest with you, I don't go to the beach with too many people ever because I feel sometimes like we have to be compelled to have a conversation. Nothing
Right.
wrong with that.
But you don't want to.
I don't. I like to go to the beach for about an hour and a half, 2 hours by myself, lather up,
Lay.
bronze, and read.
And you're done.
And I'll go and I'll take a dip a couple times, but that's about it.
All right.
What are you in for?
You know, I have a couple.
Okay.
I love to throw around a football.
Yeah.
I think it's just like one of the classic beach activities. I love to get buried in the sand.
Do you really?
And nobody ever wants to bury me. I love to get buried.
Why?
I don't know. I just think it's relaxing.
Do you want to talk about it?
It's honestly, it's kind of comforting, like the weight of the sand
yeah,
on you.
like a thunder blanket.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, that's fun. And I like to dig for sand crabs.
Oh, yes. Those are always cool. I don't see them too often by me, but I usually feel like if I go to like a little bit further downstate,
Oh, even
I'll see
further
them.
south.
Yeah, like an LBI, I usually see them around there, like an Avalon down in that area.
All right.
But up by us, I don't.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about finding those little suckers. But,
Because they're so unintimidating.
they're kind of squirrely too. Like, like
Oh, yeah.
they make it a fight.
They do. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I would like to get into one day when I am long and old and retired. I would love to get into like beach combing and doing the like
Oh, you
metal
want to like
detecting.
sweep for for treasure.
100%.
I respect that.
100%.
I respect that.
I'd like to also go get my scuba certification.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I did a deep dive
that could be
recently
fun.
on shipwrecks off the coast of Jersey, and I am
Found a lot of treasure there.
fascinated by. There's a lot, apparently.
Who knows what's under there? It could be a boat.
It could be. There are some boats. There are some boats out there. I'm not going to bore you with all of them, but I know a lot for no reason.
You know a lot of shipwrecked boats?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Ask my students if they've gotten back any of their papers yet.
How come we never call them boat wrecks?
I don't know.
Like, why? Why?
Huh. Why don't we ever call them boat wrecks?
I don't know. I don't know. Now I feel like I asked a really, this is a really, really important
Well, I
question.
guess like if you're driving a pickup truck and you get into an accident, do you say you got into a truck accident? You say you got into a car accident.
That's true, too.
Why do we park on a driveway and drive on a parkway?
Don't get me started. You want
So-
to see a grown man cry?
No, I gotta tell you. I gotta tell you. So, you want to kick things off with
I
the
would love to.
Life's a Beach?
Do you want story time first, or would you like to hear my my boring math?
Let's start with boring math because I
Okay.
can sip.
Okay. This is gonna sound really ridiculous, but I have always been curious about how many granules of sand there are on a beach.
Okay.
Always been curious about it. I don't know why.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You following?
So far, yes. Oh, that sounds terrible.
So I never thought I'd say this, but you ready to do some math?
Yay!
Thank you. All right, so I found an article. It's on quickanddirtytips.com. This guy has a podcast. His name is Jason Marshall, PhD. He goes by the Math Dude. No joke. So there's a way to estimate the sand on all of Earth's beaches.
What?
Yeah, and I somehow made this the least amount of dryness as possible.
Okay.
The least amount of dry as possible.
Okay.
Okay. So, there's no actual exact way to tell. So we're kind of gonna ballpark
Right.
some figures, which isn't exactly what I wanted, but I'm no chooser, so it doesn't matter. So these are mostly estimates, like I said, except for the measuring of the sand. So it could be done by grabbing a handful of sand and you line up the individual pieces of sand in a row,
Yeah.
and then you measure.
What kind of masochist?
Right. So the way that this guy explained it is obviously it's different on every beach. There's different sand, different
Right. Coarseness, and it's going to change the...
exactly. So
yeah.
depending on your sand, 15 to 25 grains per centimeter.
Wow.
So these are very, very tiny
Yeah.
measurements that we're working with here. So if we can assume that there's 15 to 25 grains per centimeter, then we could do the cubic centimeter, extrapolation of it. So which is a reasonable volume of measurement for a beach, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we extrapolate that, then we get 8,000 grains of sand per cubic centimeter and 8 billion grains per cubic meter.
Oh, that's...
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to wrap your head around. So 8 billion grains of sand per cubic meter. So now we have to figure out how much beach we have.
Right.
So the article that I found assumed that the coastlines of the classic 7 continents is long enough to circle the Earth twice.
Okay.
But he said that could either be 2 times as much as it really is or half as much, but it doesn't really matter to him for his for this instance.
The math dude's not going to get
Right.
bogged
And
down
if
with
the math dude
technicals.
doesn't care, then I don't care.
That's all right.
Exactly. So we're just going to keep going with it. So exactly. That's exactly how I felt. I'm so glad you said that.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. That's
Right.
fine.
Okay, so with this being his estimate, right? In addition to this, he averaged the beaches out to be roughly 50 meters wide and 25 meters deep. So from water to
Yeah. It's
an end of sand.
yeah.
And that's I think reasonable too. Half a football field.
Yeah, I think that
long.
would be average.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are some that are significantly shorter, and then there are some that are significantly longer.
Math dude's got it going on.
Listen,
really does.
so far, Math Dude's actually crushing it. Especially, and I just clicked in my mind as we're going through this. Who's going to prove the Math Dude wrong?
Not you or I.
No.
So I'm just gonna keep going.
So I say, dude on.
Okay, so this is where it gets a little hairy. So if we know that Earth's circumference is roughly 40 million meters, and I think that's actual, then 40 million times 14, so 14 because of the 7 continents times 2.
Correct.
Right? 40 million times 14 gives us 560 million meters of coastline.
Okay.
And 560 million times 50 times 25 for the width and the depth of the beach gives us 700 billion cubic meters of beach.
Okay.
So now finally we take the amount of sand.
So 8 billion,
8 billion grains of sand times 700 billion cubic meters of beach. And we get a grand total of 5,000 billion or 5 sextillion grains of sand on Earth's surface. Thank you.
Well done, math dude.
Yeah, that was kind of riveting for it being counting sand.
No, yeah, I've got to say, because it's one of those things where I always thought that they had kind of utilized the term whenever we hear like Google or Googleplex.
Oh.
I always thought that that was one of those where they had made reference to like grains of sand. Like we'll never actually know because the number is so large that we can quantify it as like Googleplex.
And honestly, it could be even more than that because that's a reasonable size for a beach. But I'll tell you, I flew over Long Island on the way home.
Yeah.
And Long Island is not 50 meters by 25 meters.
No.
It's much more.
How did you fly over Long Island?
So we had
I was going to say, I'm sorry, folks.
So we flew out of JFK.
Oh, okay.
And we also had to like circle around due to something that was happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, I was like, you blew past. You blew
right
past.
Past Newark. No. So yeah, 5,000 billion.
Wow. Yeah. That's mind-boggling. I mean, there's more sand that's being made all the time, right? Because it's just a series of like erosion and.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess so.
Okay.
We're gonna run with it.
Fair enough.
So, thank you.
Thank the math dude.
Thanks, math dude.
Tubular.
Rad. Bodacious. So, in this, I had to, because we have to talk about our beloved beaches, the Jersey Shore.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Which one's your favorite?
And
do you have a go-to?
Do I have a go-to?
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but your go-to Jersey Shore.
Oh, it's my beach. It's what I refer to as my beach.
Okay, fair enough.
It's my beach.
That makes sense.
It's the beach right in Asbury, 8th Avenue. It's beautiful. It's the surfing beach.
That is a nice little spot.
It is lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. I've got to say, spoiled goddamn rotten. And again, I use the term Jersey Shore. You hate it. I hate it. And I can promise you that we will not be discussing the show at all.
Thank God.
Okay? So, a few fun facts about the glorious beaches and area. So, for one thing, I'm going to pose this question to you before we kind of dive on in, because I really didn't know. Do you know how long the Jersey Shore, from its what's considered to be like its northernmost point to its southernmost point, how long is it?
How many miles?
Yeah.
I would guess about 145 miles.
Are you sure you're not the math dude?
Hey.
It's about 130.
Oh, I was close.
Yeah, 130 miles from the northernmost point at Perth Amboy down to its southernmost point at Cape May.
All right,
so just a couple of fun little things along the way here. So, for example, one of the first things, Atlantic City Boardwalk. Longest boardwalk in the world.
In the entire world?
In the entire world.
That's pretty impressive.
So it was the first to be built in the United States and open to the public in June of 1870, only as a temporary structure. They only kind of put it up just for like the season, but it proved to be really popular.
Wow.
And now runs about 5.5 miles long.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
So are you familiar with the town of Beechwood?
I think so.
It's right in Ocean County. So a little bit further south. So the town of Beechwood began as a way to get subscriptions to the New York Tribune. 1,763 acres were purchased by the publishers of the newspaper in 1914. And I don't know why it's this particular number, and for $19.60, people would get a 6-month subscription to the newspaper along with a 20 by 100 foot plot of land.
Really?
Yeah. Things were wild and crazy back then.
Clearly.
Things were wild and crazy.
Now everything's just on fire. One of the last battles of the Revolutionary War took place, or started, because of something that happened on the Jersey Shore. Something that was known as the Barnegat Light Massacre. Are you familiar with this? No. I know Barnegat.
I know Barnegat Light. I've heard of massacres, but never the thrice in one. Altogether. So on October 26th of 1782, a Belgian cutter had become stranded.
Oh, okay.
And Captain Andrew Steelman had gathered a group of local men to go ahead and bring in the cargo. So while his men were resting, the crew was attacked by Captain John Bacon, who had led a group of Tory loyalists.
Great name,
Bacon. John Bacon, right? And had murdered nearly all of Steelman's men. Killed all of them. So a manhunt had ensued, leading to the Cedar Bridge Tavern, which is still around, by the way. Cedar Bridge Tavern, where a fight had broken out in what is considered to be the last skirmish, then, of the Revolutionary War.
No kidding.
Yep. I'll do another one for us, and then we can move on, because I've got a couple of other little ones here. We're going to keep it punchy today, right? Nice and punchy. Intimidation.
Yeah.
Intimidation. Yeah. I had never heard of this, but in 2005, there was a TV series called Point Pleasant that had aired on Fox.
In 2005?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Do you really remember this?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Okay. It was quickly canceled due to poor ratings.
It was like one season, or not even one season.
Not even a
right?
full season.
Yeah.
So I found it fascinating, though, because the show followed the plot of a girl who had washed up on the beach and then was resuscitated and taken in by the doctor's family.
Yeah, I kind of remember this.
She was taken in by the doctor's family. This would actually be right up your alley, and I know why you watched it.
Yeah, I never watched it. I didn't.
So she's taken in by a doctor's family. She struggles to find out who she is and what happened to her mother, but we soon learn that she's the Antichrist.
The hell?
She's the Antichrist. Turns out to be the spawn of Satan, quite literally.
No wonder why this show didn't get picked up.
Right? Who would have guessed?
Washed up on the beach and she's the Antichrist?
Yep.
You lost me, and you probably gained me, so
yeah,
I'm just a net neutral.
It's fascinating because the fact is, I think what was wild was that they aired episodes 1 through 5 here in the States, but then 1 through 7 in Australia, and then the entire season in Sweden for some reason. Yeah, weird stuff. Weird stuff.
All right.
So I'll put a pin in it there, and we'll come on back to the Jersey Shore in a little bit then.
Okay. Oh, all right. We're coming back to the.
Oh yeah.
I never leave the Jersey Shore.
Neither do I. Only to come up here.
I recently left to go to St. Lucia. Have I told you guys about that?
I heard about St. Lucia. You went to St. Lucia.
All right. Okay, so you guys aren't going to believe this, but who else would go on vacation to the Caribbean?
If this is a fucking pun, I've had such a good time so far.
Who else would go on a vacation to the Caribbean and find a beer conspiracy?
Oh.
Who else but me?
No one else.
Right?
No one else.
Okay, so let
Alex Jones. The only other Alex that would be Alex Jones.
There can only be one. Get this guy out of my universe. Please. What's our damn it. What's our intern's name?
Oh, we still haven't. Was it Ethan?
Tony? Ethan? Ethan sounds right.
Ethan sounds right.
Can you get rid of this Alex Jones, please? Thank you.
1776 will rise again.
God. Okay, so it went away, and for those of you following on the Instagram for the first couple of days until I forgot I had a phone, you could note that I didn't have a beer because the beer choices on the island were limited, to say the least.
Yeah.
You can get a Heineken, and we know I'm not drinking
Oh,
Heineken.
God.
Or you can get the local beer called a Piton.
Oh.
So Piton is on the island, very mountainous island. There are twin peaks. It's all mountains.
Huh.
Yeah, it's actually nuts because like they don't have roads; they just have one long, winding road.
That reminds me of like Tortola. I remember was kind of like that, where it was like to go to the beach.
I don't think ever. Oh,
I think we were together in Tortola.
yeah, it
Years
is like,
ago.
it like that.
Yeah, where it was just essentially
but
one
it's
big
the whole,
mountain.
Yeah, it's the whole island. Okay, so the twin peaks, the Pitons. That's what they're called. So the local beer is Piton. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm not gonna have a Heineken. I'm in St. Lucia, I'm gonna have the local beer.
Yeah, when in Rome.
Crack it open, take a sip. I'm like, this tastes like in a Heineken.
Really?
Yeah. So I drink a couple, look down at the bottle, and I see there it is, clear as day, on the Piton bottle, Heineken St. Lucia.
Shut up.
Yes.
No way.
But wait, there's more. Okay, so a couple of days go by, and I'm drinking Pitons. Except for the first day, I had a lot of like liquor drinks.
Yeah.
You know,
cocktails.
Bob Marley layered drink. You know, red, yellow, green, like kind of in Wet Willie's.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Lots of stuff like that. But then I kept having Pitons, you know. So Piton. Fourth day of the trip now. I go to this little pizza spot, get a pizza. While I'm waiting for my pizza, I walk over to the bar, talk to one of the bartenders at the resort. So I'm like talking about Pitons. And this is now my new favorite thing because I'm like, oh, it's just Heineken. Like,
Yeah. Like, I figured it out.
I was like, do you know this is Heineken? She's like, it's Heineken. I was like, yeah, it says it on the bottle. She's like, oh, yeah, I did know that. She's like, you know what else is really weird? I feel like I could have about 20 Pitons and not get drunk. But then when I have about 4 or 5 Heinekens, I feel like I get hammered. So now it's been like 4 days now, and I'm like, you know what? I haven't been getting drunk. And I thought to myself, after a couple of days of drinking,
oh yeah,
your tolerance
he
goes
builds
up.
Yeah.
Right. Did you know the next day I switched to Heineken, I got drunk?
Really?
So now here's my theory. Heineken is pushing off Piton to the locals. So like campaigning the Twin Peaks of the island, right? Making it very attractive to the locals. So they can sell a beer that they say is 5% alcohol, but really it's definitely not.
Huh.
Because I had quite a few of those and I was not getting drunk.
I wouldn't not believe it.
And then go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say that sounds some like
it just sounds because like who on St. Lucia is gonna take a Piton to a lab and get the ABV analyzed?
Right.
No one.
It's just a matter of different marketing.
Right.
It's when you go to the supermarket and instead of getting a box of Cheerios, you're gonna get Oat O's, and it's the same goddamn thing.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Except Cheerios doesn't make Oat O's.
Right.
But Heineken makes Piton.
Well, no. A lot of times they will. It'll be made. It'll come from like the same like manufacturer
you're
and
right,
whatnot.
that's true.
Just boxed differently. That's insane.
And then one more little layer, as my wife pointed out, that we saw on the island, and it's not a big island. It's like 14 miles long. So like it's drivable.
Yeah.
Like I've seen most of the island. There are Heineken Zero ads.
Really? I'm fascinated because Heineken is also, I think, one of the shittiest.
It's awful. I will say that Piton does taste slightly different. Actually, it tastes like another beer that I've had. I forget what it's called. 1667 Blanc.
Yeah.
Or something comes in a blue bottle, and it has like almost like a grape note to it. I don't know. It's very different.
I'm going to throw a little call to action out there for folks because I know a bunch of us, whenever we've kind of found ourselves down in the islands where you have like the local-ish kind of like light beer. I'd be curious to know if anybody else has kind of run into maybe a similar thought process.
Do you remember? Oh, sorry.
Well, I was going to say, I can't remember. There was
so rude of me.
No. Professionalism is not entirely our thing, sir. There were a couple of different, I remember, islands that we had been to where we had some of the local beers, and we were like, it's literally the exact same thing.
I was going to ask you, do you remember the elephant beer on Bermuda? It had like an elephant on the label.
I don't.
No,
unfortunately.
That one stuck with me.
Oh, maybe.
But yeah, that's my beer conspiracy.
I like it.
I think I think that's a thing.
I think it tracks. I think it totally makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, you're up. But before you do start, what did the shovel say to his friend on the beach?
Go in the sun, you're looking a little pale.
Very close. Are you okay? You're looking a bit pale.
Yeah.
There you go. Attaboy.
Hello? Oh, yep, I'll let him know. Yep.
Where should I send it back to?
Dying just a little bit on the inside. Just found out. That was my doctor. Said that a couple extra minutes have been taken off my life. Turns out it wasn't the cigarettes, it was the puns.
You know, I've heard that laughter is life's medicine.
Hello, Doc? Yeah, I'll let him know. He said no.
Oh, who might argue with the doctor?
Hello, meth dude? Yeah, I'll let him know. Thank you so much
You're
for all
welcome.
this. The beer conspiracy.
You're welcome.
So I've got two other. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll follow up a little bit with your on the heels of your conspiracy theory.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
All right.
Not a beer one entirely.
Bummer.
But I know. I'm sorry. But just the fact that we should be able to get around and move around a lot faster in life in 2022 than we actually do. And we're being held back on purpose.
Like transportation-wise?
Transportation-wise. Are you familiar with the Blue Comet Railroad?
Sounds fast.
It was fast.
Oh, was fast.
It was fast. So, for reference, driving to Atlantic City from Manhattan today using mass transit. Driving. How long do you think it takes usually to get from
2 hours?
It's closer to 2.5. And using mass transit today, about how long?
Probably closer to 3.5.
Little over 3 hours and requires 3 bus transfers.
That sounds terrible.
Okay. The Blue Comet Railroad made the commute from the city, including a ferry ride to Jersey City, in 3 hours between 1929 and 1941. And a train that would reach actively 100 miles per hour.
Wow.
Would fly down. So we're talking at this point now, 100 fucking years ago, you could get on one train and go from Jersey City to Atlantic City in 3 hours.
Wow.
The Blue Comet was amazing. It was painted in an iconic ultramarine and Packard blue.
I'm looking this up.
Oh, it was a beautiful, beautiful railroad. Beautiful train. Packard blue with cream trim. It was all meant to symbolize the sky, the sea, and the sand. And essentially it was forced out because of the monopolization of some of the railroads by the,
Of course.
Of course. But the best part is that if anybody knows of any folks that it's not that one.
It's not?
No, it was a different different looking one. But if anybody knows, while I'm looking this up as well, anybody that had grown up or lived in the area that might be quite a bit older, the Blue Comet Railroad. Oh, I apologize. Maybe you are correct. Sorry.
You
really batting
son of a bitch.
Really batting 1,000.
Just for that, I'm going to tell another beach joke.
No, it's fine. I deserve it at this point. So the whistle to this, it was a distinct whistle that used to actually be a 3-toned one that was closer to a tugboat's whistle than a train whistle. No one's ever been able to find where this whistle is. They believe that it's still around. Someone has the whistle to the Blue Comet, but they've never been able to find it. There was only the one. It was amazing. This train ran to schedule between 29 and 41, ran to schedule 96% of the time.
Whoa.
Ran exactly to schedule.
Wow.
Yeah. Nowadays, again, I always joke, what time is your train? So it's at 9:38. I'm so it'll pick you up at 9:45. I've always got a 10-minute window. And I will at least wrap up with this, is that New Jersey, and the Jersey Shore in particular, was one of the most popular early getaways to the presidents of the United States.
Came all the way to here.
Yep. So figure in 1869, President Grant, in fact, had declared Long Branch was the nation's summer capital.
What?
Yep. It was home, or it's now home. Long Branch is now home to, Seven Presidents Park, which is named for those who came to the
that's
area.
Where I used to go to the beach.
Exactly. So figure President Grant, Hayes, Garfield, Arthur, Harrison, McKinley, and Wilson. In fact, it was just up the road. When I wrote this, I was at home. It was just up the road in an area that's... It doesn't known as this really very much anymore, but it was an area of Long Branch that was called Elberon. It's one of the station stops still.
Yep.
So that was where President Garfield, James A. Garfield, was brought following his being shot by Charles Guiteau. So he was shot, and he was, in D.C., and if anybody's been to D.C. around this time of year, it's fucking disgusting. The Potomac makes everything hot and humid and stale. It is gross. So he wanted to come up here during his recovery. And what happened was that they had built a special rail car for him and constructed it to take him to Franklin Cottage. So they they built this rail car for him. They brought him up on the railroad. And then they took the existing railroad and actually built like an offshoot that took him directly to the house, because the fact is he couldn't necessarily be transported, took him directly to the house at the beach where he then had died 2 weeks later.
Wow.
Yep. There's a little plaque. I rode my bike to go and find it. Unfortunately, the original house is gone.
Bummer.
But yeah, that's where he was. And yeah, so it's the final resting place of at least, James A. Garfield, after he was shot. He probably would have lived. He had very bad doctors.
A bit longer.
Very bad doctors.
Yeah, the doctors back then. Train's phenomenal. Doctors, I guess, not great. Or just his doctors.
His doctors, because doctors at the time had become known or familiar with the idea of sepsis, but his doctor didn't necessarily believe it entirely. So when they were him and his team were trying to find where the bullet was, they all just fucking rooted around in there and infected, got his wound all infected.
Hands-on care.
Yeah, there you go. So if you're ever in the market and you're sitting around going, hey kids, what do you want to do this summer? You want to go see where some of the presidents died? Come on to Elberon.
Seven Presidents Beach.
Yeah, where James A. Garfield kicked the bucket. What, is that not proper?
I feel like it's okay to tell people. Just that's not the best selling point.
Oh, I'm sorry. Find out where James A. Garfield had died as a result of his doctor not believing in sepsis and infecting his wound.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. All right, you want to go out on one last joke?
Yeah, what do you got for me? Why not?
I don't like the way that this one is worded.
Oh, I don't like the way any of them are worded.
Okay, but I feel like it belong. It deserves a mention because there's something here. Why did the scuba diver have such bad grades?
I don't know.
He was always below a C.
Oh God! You know what? If you want to subscribe. If you don't, I almost understand.
It's good to be back.
All right, everybody. Yeah, just join us again, and we'll see you later.
Adios.
Goodbye. Because he's below us.
Time for another beer.
I want mine in an
I
IV drip.
Another one.